se me vio la final. Le pedí a mi abuela, por favor, que el Ligo ataje los penales. Lo atajó. Y se me vio la final. Le pedí a mi abuela, por favor, que el Ligo ataje los penales. Lo atajó.
The World Cup has just concluded, everyone is freaking out, the GOAT debate is finally over, and the world of football can finally be restored. Nah, screw that, cause Blue Lock is here and it's ready to mess up. If you're not aware of what Blue Lock is by now, I can't imagine how you stumbled upon this video, because over the last month or so, it's been pretty much everywhere for all the right reasons. Even Yusuke Nomura, the illustrator for Blue Lock, made the jerseys for the official Japanese team in the World Cup. So it's been pretty apparent just how far this series has come. And it's been a little over a year now since I've talked about Blue Lock, well, at least on a solo dedicated video like this one, and with the anime getting into its second core and the manga entering new heights, there is absolutely no better time than the present to talk about the most egotistical manga out there, Blue Lock. Going beyond what it takes to achieve a victory by showing what your egoism can accomplish is what Blue Lock is at the end of the day. Blue Lock is a series about football, but not just any ordinary game of football. Blue Lock takes the sport to an entirely new level, or as some would say, completely ruin and break apart what it truly means to play the sport. To me though, it's a bit of both, but depending on how you look at it and where you are in the story, your opinion may differ. And this has been something that has been made clear to me just over the last year or so that I've been both reading and watching this series. I always find it funny when people try to diminish the series of Blue Lock because of these silly reasons. So for the best reasons possible, let me show you why Blue Lock is no less of a series that makes you strive to become the greatest version of yourself that you thought wasn't even possible. Let me show you what Blue Lock is all about. Recently, the Blue Lock anime has just been taking the spotlight and has been showcasing a more in-depth perspective on just what Blue Lock is trying to teach its audience. For football to be properly played in Blue Lock, characters need to sacrifice what they desire the most, being the world's best striker. They do so by working with their assigned teams and players no matter the situation. In doing so, turning yourself as a player from 0 to 1. And in Blue Lock, this is a huge characteristic that you need to adopt in order to make a name for yourself in the program. And I think a vast detail about this people fail to understand is in order to successfully travel from 0 to 1, you essentially need to start from scratch. This applies to the mentality of the game and how you treat your peers on the field and what you learn from those who go against you. Of course, you're not just gonna forget how to play soccer entirely, that wouldn't make for anything remotely close to the world's best striker. But the mentality of how you see the field and how you see others around you is what's going to make you the world's best striker. And for someone who has little to zero experience of what playing football is in a professional manner, understanding this concept doesn't just apply to only football, but anything you want to strive to be the best in. It's just that for this specific case, football is what's at question. Many people lack to give Blue Lock any credit because of this abstraction, perceiving the game as if you are wrong and trying to learn how to adapt to those around you and taking notes as if you are applying them to yourself. You see, Blue Lock teaches you that ego is everything, but what they don't tell you is that there is a loophole around that ego. What this means is that there is indeed a fine line of knowing when to put that ego to the side and just adjust or change, if you will, to better yourself on finding your own abilities and your own tactics. Just learn from the people around you. This and a lot of other things are incredibly important in the long run because it comes down to the hand you play. And when you take two experienced players with the most adaptability on the field, you get a situation where something known as luck comes into play. Luck is an abstract phenomenon on the field, and it's not to be just found anywhere. What I mean by this is that it takes something that truly only descends upon those standing in front of you, willing to take action on where it counts. And with football, it's a game descended upon a 90-minute time span, so your option for luck is placed somewhere in that time span. You following along? Here, try to look at it this way, for example. Let's say a player is looking for an inevitable goal in a decent position. It's certainly possible for that goal to be made depending on the skill of the player and the lack of the defender, but using a decent position with two teams on the same side of the epicenter of luck is going to be where you mess up. And that's just simply what it comes down to. When you are taking two monsters on the field and putting them against each other, their moves and techniques are going to be on par, just waiting for one crack in the armor to happen from either of the two. And see, the thing about luck is that when you are on the field, moving as fast as possible and tackling the task at hand at the pace you are moving, by the time you have to even think about how luck will come your way, it will already be too late. It boils down to resolving on trusting yourself and accepting this aspect of luck in the game. It's essentially just a stepping stone in this wild world of football for those who are just simply built different. And another one of the best features about Blue Lock is its diversity amongst characters and the unpredictability you get from each and every single one of them. In Blue Lock, you never really know who truly has your back or not until that's perceived on the field. Whether someone is truly on your team or not still doesn't really matter in the long run because of, again, the unpredictability you get in Blue Lock. So far in the anime, we've just seen teams split up and either work together in a better light or not. This kind of just revolves around a character's awakening, and sometimes it might even be better for a team that doesn't work so well together to be paired up. That way, for the sake of themselves, they can find their awakening and reach limits to progress within Blue Lock. Having ego in Blue Lock is like having possession of the goal you will score. If you don't have your ego in check, there is just no possibility for you to even consider scoring a goal. Because on the field, it's like a jungle just waiting to snatch their prey at any given moment. So having an ego is what keeps you alive in the series. Having ego pushes you beyond expectation, and that's exactly what the Blue Lock program is at its core. There have been plenty of times where I pondered the idea of just why this series is the way it is. But trust me, if you don't have faith in what is in front of you, you simply just don't have what it takes to be one of, if not what you are clearly there for, and that is to become the best striker in the entire world. Inside Blue Lock, excitement drives these characters, and trading for one thing for the other is what sells these characters to move forward, not only just in the program itself, but within the entirety of their own character. One of the biggest reasons why I'm such a fanatic for this series is because its main course of judgment is all within motions of players, minds, and egos. They all just change depending on their environment, and before you know it, something can just snap and a whole new beast is on the field ready to attack at any given moment. Ego has multiple aspects to it, not just one that comes off as being selfish, but being proud and or being exhilarated to achieve new goals with new people. If true egotists are meant to be part of the Blue Lock program, in the long run, you will see how those around you narrow down till when the day comes and it's just you. Egotists are tricky, and when finding that balance, it can be tough and sometimes a little overwhelming. It can lead to the point where it will crush you if you're not careful. Which leads me to my final point. What do you want to achieve with your ego? It's important to note how valuable a confident ego can take you when on the field. And it comes down to whether or not you view your ego over what really matters in the game. To win. Winning is everything in Blue Lock, and having that drive to not only win, but to achieve your ideals and thoughts and put them into action is what's going to make your dreams come true. I take so much pride in witnessing the writing in the story being laid out because it seems like there's never a character that doesn't push themselves to their limit and further beyond. And quite frankly, that's one of the biggest aspirations I have for this series, because not only does it show the growth within the characters in the story, but it also can be applied to help better yourself and your own character. Blue Lock is a series that for over a year now I've fallen in love with because of all the dedication and motivation piled up within this series. For most, Blue Lock is just an egotistical anime and manga now, and at face value, that's what it's perceived as to its majority. But I'm glad within recent times with the release of the anime, Blue Lock has been spreading a light on people that never thought could really achieve anything. And I think with everything accumulated, you start to pick these pieces from this puzzle of a series, and you slowly but surely find a way to take an aspiration and appreciation for such a series. Not only for its amazing story or wonderful looking character designs, but for what I think is not just one, but a few messages in this series that can be applied into your outlook on the real world. At the end of the day, I want everyone to see as much from this series that I do, because Blue Lock has helped me truly strive for greatness. Thank you all for making